We have a guest for today, and her name is Chuchi, our cat, in the house. So now we will be talking about the breeding season of the hamster. So here I am preparing the area wherein my hamsters are going to breed and mate. Making hamsters reproduce is easy because of their incredible ability to proliferate. However, it is a decision that must be made aware of several elements, practices, and techniques. So clean, clean, clean! Spray, spray, spray! Wipe, wipe, wipe! After cleaning and wiping off the areas that are dirty, now we are going to wipe it all over again. And now let's fill it with wood shavings for the beddings. There are several questions to ask before you start raising hamsters. How old should parents be? What weight? Are they healthy enough to reproduce? What is the ideal breeding season? On the other hand, it is crucial to make sure that the species and the color of the parents are compatible. If it seems obvious that they must belong to the same race, some crossbreeds are forbidden, not for reasons of aesthetics, but of genetics. Indeed, some genes carry abnormalities and it is necessary to get very specific information on that matter. From a veterinarian specializing in NIC or a professional breeder. In addition, if your hamsters come from a pet store, it is strongly discouraged to consider breeding because you do not have sufficient information on their provenance and genetic background. Now let's talk about the breeding season of the hamster. Hamsters have a seasonal reproductive cycle in nature. That is, they should only mate at certain times of the year. Setting the scene is also important. With this in mind, introduce your female to a male on his home turf or in a neutral zone. Other breeders think you should place the two hamsters in a third cage that is not familiar territory for either of them. If you choose this method, put the male in the cage first and let him calm down and explore before you add the female. Either way, keep a pair of gloves on hand so you can separate the two if they start to fight. In mating, it is important to place the hamsters in a neutral place or the male's cage. It will be necessary to be present at the meeting to monitor the turn of events and separate them if they start to fight, which means that the female is not ready to mate. If it's the right time, the two hamsters will snipple, then the female will raise her ass and let herself be fertilized by the male. Well, first the male is attracted to the female's scent. He approaches her, sniffs her anus, and if the scent seduces the male, he will have an erection. Yes, hamsters do have penises. First, it is important that the hamsters are persuaded into believing that it is the correct time of year for mating. This means that the lights may have to be left on for at least 12 hours a day, and in winter, some heating may be required. Female hamsters will only mate when in season or on heat, which is normally every 4th day, approximately between sunset and sunrise. At any other time, the female is likely to turn on the male and injuries can occur if they are not separated quickly. Leave them together for between 20 and 30 minutes after the male is seen to penetrate and then replace in their own cages. Normally, once mating has started, there should be no trouble, but they should never be left alone as sometimes the male becomes over-aggressive in biting the back of the female's neck or over-enthusiastic about washing her ears and ending up at the wrong end. Just touching the male can stop both of these instances. In case of failure, it will be necessary to wait for the next ovulation cycle before attempting a new projection. Sometimes, there are times that hamsters won't mate like what we have here. I waited an hour to observe their behavior, and I think that they are still in the phase of getting to know each other by checking off the areas because they are still unfamiliar with each other's presence. So, I think that our first attempt to make them mate is failed. So again, we will wait for another 4 days for them to be in heat. So, goodbye for now. Follow for part 2.